Welcome to the April 2021 Comedius Online. My name is Zoe Malcolm Collier, and I'm your guest host this evening. Our next performer is Ann Johnson, telling a story about community service.
Hi. First of all, I'd like to thank Zoe for taking over hosting duties today so that you would have another beautiful face to look at besides mine. I wanted to talk a little bit about community. Community is something that's really important to me, and I mean, of course, you can define it however you want. The expat community or the Brno community or the arts community, all of those are important to me, actually. And giving to the community and feeling connected with the community is really important. And usually what I do is check theater and Comedius, which are ways for us to come together, be amongst our friends, give something to each other, take something away. It's been very difficult to do those things for the last year, and that's been hard. And if you tend to be depressed and use these forms of giving as a way of cheering yourself up, it's been a rough year. Some things that you can do. You can donate to charity, and donating to charity, whether it's your time or your talent or cold hard cash, is a way to cheer yourself up. You can donate to the arts, and that's a way to cheer yourself up. You can perform for open mics, online Zoom comedy. That's sometimes a way to really cheer yourself up or depress yourself. You can donate blood. And I have not donated blood for most of my adult life because for most of my adult life I've been barred from banning blood. The Red Cross does not accept blood donations from homosexuals and from people who have tattoos. And that was their policy for a really long time. And I have extraordinarily delicious blood. And my feeling was that if they didn't want it, I punished them by following their rules. But during the pandemic, there were calls for blood, and I felt like perhaps this once I could overlook their stupidity and help out. So I read the rules, and now they're a little bit different. They accept people who have had tattoos as long as they've been at least 6 months since the last one, and they say that it can't be anybody who's had sex with a man who has had sex with a man. But I figured, people lie to me. So I went to the Red Cross. The form is really long. It's longer than most dating profiles that you have to fill out. They ask a lot of questions that I think are nobody's business. I kind of treated it like a yes, no, maybe list and got through it that way. The people were lovely. They took my blood. They were reasonably painless. At the end of it, they gave me a sandwich and a candy bar, which I really liked. Not like I did it for the sandwich and the candy bar, but at the end of that, I felt a little bit better. I felt better. Then I decided that I would kick it up a notch and donate plasma. And so I went to the plasma donations. So if the Red Cross forms are like a dating profile, the plasma donation is more like applying for citizenship or a marriage certificate. I don't know what your metaphors are. It was a long, complicated form. It was intense. The rule about 6 months tattoos, yes, that, but they wanted an inventory of them, and I've been getting one a year since I was 18, so that's a lot. I don't entirely know what they are, some of them, because they're on my back, and I can't see it. So in the end, I wound up taking off all of my clothes in a not warm room with a person that I didn't know, with no curtains on the window, and she measured all of them, and we had to make a list describing them. And this person now knows more about me than any partner I've ever had, which was not a nice moment. And then they hooked me up to the machine, and I broke the machine because I have low blood pressure. And then they told me I needed a transfusion, and which was not giving and was not my plan. And they weren't nice to me. And I felt worse than when I'd gotten there. I mean, yeah, I have low blood pressure. I thought it was an advantage. I smoke like a chimney. I drink like a fish. I stress out over tiny things like the worst Karen, and I don't understand, but here I am with low blood pressure. So I can't donate plasma anymore. So I've been looking for things that I can do. And the vaccination center opened up at the exhibition grounds, and I begged them to let me volunteer, And they took me. And like, this is, so I've worked just a couple times. I worked with the old people wave. Old people are great. Old people are hilarious. They're like super wise in some ways, and also kind of like toddlers in some ways. So those are two groups that appeal to me. So I was having a good time. I mean, like they say what's on their mind, right? Like I was wearing an orange vest, and this woman came down and she said, well, they told me to talk to the woman in the orange vest, but you look like a man. Like, you know, that's a thought that you could keep on the inside of your mouth, but I laughed. It was adorable. A lot of them were super dressed up because they haven't left the house in a year, and they got dressed up like they were going to the opera, and some of them hadn't seen each other, so it was like they running up to, oh, Pani, something over, so how are you? It was like a rave for oldies, and it was really sweet. They were nice to me, mostly. Some of the guys flirted with me, and it's been a while for me to be amongst that many people as well. I gave it a think. But it's the hardest I've worked physically in a while. It's the most demanding, jumping up and down, running around that I've done in a while. I was physically exhausted. I felt fantastic, and I laughed so hard at them and with them. They were delightful. The women wearing these like high-necked fancy dresses, and then you have to show your shoulder to get the jab. And so then I was running around saying, you have to figure out a way to get a needle in there. And some of them just started stripping like they were Europeans at a sauna, or kids at show and tell. So I saw a lot of naked old people, and I walked out of there. It's genuinely the most optimistic, the most hopeful that I felt in a year. And I wanted to share this with you, not because like how amazing I am, but because I am, but because really take some time to think about what you can do for your community. I know that you're tired. I know I'm tired. I know that it's hard. I know that I don't feel like I have anything to give right now, because I feel like I'm keeping the little energy that I have for myself. But if you can think of a thing that you can do and you can give it, it will make you feel better, I swear. And whether that's blood, if you're a good, clean person, or your time, or money, if there's an art program that you like, or these people doing the online Zoom comedies, like they're doing it for free or they're doing it for cheap. And you could throw them $5, they could buy a cup of coffee, it'll make their day, and that will make your day. Yeah, that's all I gotta say. I hope that you enjoy the show.